Hello, this is Stud Muffin 1986. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm going to be talking about something that I think a lot of either newer players or inexperienced players or players that are always trying to learn how to improve and get better ask themselves, and they also hear a lot about much more experienced or higher win rate players talking about, but it's never quite talked about in detail. And that's aggressiveness. Some of these really high win rate players talk about being aggressive, but for some of the newer players or players that are like trying to learn how to get better, they hear about this and they're like, okay, I'm going to be more aggressive. And then they go in and they just end up getting obliterated. And they're like, okay, this is just not working. I cannot figure out this aggressiveness. And then they revert to, okay, I'm just going to pay attention. I'm just going to watch to see where my team ends up going. And I'm just going to follow to see where they're going. And if I happen to see a tank, I'll take a shot at it and whatnot. And it just goes from there. And we completely abandon the whole aggressive natureness. And it's completely understandable. And so I just thought just talking a little bit more about how to be successfully aggressive could be something that would be very interesting to talk about, because for a lot of newer experienced players, I could really see this coming to their into their minds. When they enter a game, it's even so funny because at the very beginning of the game, within the first 5 seconds, you can tell how your team is going to be or how successful you might be and what your chances of actually winning the game are. It's really, really funny. And players that have played a game or any other game, online game, you can tell that just based on movement. And when you're on the team where the timer's going down 3, 2, 1 and it hits battle and everyone's looking around at each other and not even moving, and maybe you're the guy that knows what to do and starts moving and looks around, you instantly know, okay, I think we've already lost this game. It just happens. It is not a good feeling. Whereas other teams that you're on, when it says battle, everyone starts moving, they're quick, you're like, yes, here we go. I think I'm on a good team and we can do this. So going back to my point, I think a lot of newer players are like, okay, well, how do I do this? How do I be aggressive, but on the same hand, also be successful and not get myself killed and and look stupid within the first minute of the game? I think a lot of it comes down to understanding a few things, like your tank type, the purpose of your tank, knowing how to fulfill that tank's role, and understanding that tank's fingerprint and how that fits on the map and the battlefield that you're playing. And what I mean by all that confusing talk is understanding your tank's view range, mobility, your cannon, all of those puzzle pieces helping you understand will help you better understand how to position yourself. So, just as an example, if you're a new player and you're in a grill, for example, and you're like, okay, I want to be aggressive, you end up rushing, obviously, to the front lines, trying to play with the grill as a light tank. It's gonna get yourself absolutely obliterated. You don't have as well of gun depression. Your traverse is pretty slow. You can get yourself in a pretty bad sticky situation. Whereas a heavy tank, also as another example, you end up okay, I'm just gonna camp all the way in the back. I'll just stay in the background and just try to take shots from a distance. Well, once again, not understanding the role of your tank type. A heavy tank, their cannons aren't nearly as powerful as a tank destroyer's cannons. You don't have the penetration most of the time, or the accuracy, or whatever it is. So I think if you are going to be aggressive, the point that I'm coming across, and to align with what a lot of successful players that have high win rates are talking about, is you have to understand your role, the type of tank, and how to play it. Understand your fingerprint, your armor, your strengths, your weaknesses, your mobility, etc. And then combining those two to know, and will help you to know how to be aggressive on the field. So just kind of something that popped into my mind. And one of the things that I've got to say is, there's just a lot of times, I don't know if you've seen awesome YouTubers like Medzi or whatever playing live, and even I know Medzi talking a bit about, hey, this is how I play. I'm an aggressive player, and he's a great player. But you'll notice even he has bad games, and it happens. It just happens to all of us. So if you're trying it over and over again and you're just failing, don't think of it as that you're sucking. If we fail faster, we learn faster, and we'll know how to become a better player. Sometimes we just have those games. But when we try is when we'll become successful. When we don't try, we don't become successful. So anyway, hopefully you guys are able to find this video a little helpful. If you're more of that type of player that's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit back, I'll just wait to see where the team goes, and you're in a spot where it's like, I just would love to know how to be aggressive and get this higher win rate and just be successful being aggressive. Hopefully this is something that can help you guys. So anyway, Stud Muffin 1986 here. Love you guys. Keep tanking and stay cool.